Okay. So everything was leading to the moment when I would share everything what I have done, everything what I'm doing in public on social medias, not in other public that I already did. But I think this is not the moment to do that. I was procrastinating. Maybe I'm doing that still. But recently I am really extremely in motivation, in the way of like motivating myself in a different kind of ways to live my life path, my, you can call it, like to do the job that I like, to do, to live a life according to myself, to live my destiny as you wish, like your purpose. We can call it how we want. But I see this like a way to motivate myself and also to do something public. I'm planning to make videos. I'm planning to make videos like each week. Not necessarily about every week of the process, but definitely in this subject, staying in this subject to motivate myself to continue doing it. Because the most important thing about doing the present process is to be consistent, like to do it every day, to not skip the word, to not skip the sentence. But even if you do, for example, if you skip some, that's something that some of the things that I learned, I was too hard on myself, too perfectionist, too waiting for the right moment for a lot of things. And that's not okay. Even that perfectionism is like really, really good characteristic for other people, for your boss, for example, but it's not fine. It's not fine because it's okay that you can skip sometimes, okay? But don't replace that with being lazy and irresponsible or something like that, okay? Because the most important thing is to do it with consistency. So you will able to get into your subconscious mind. You will see. Okay, so let's talk about the book. Like the book, in my opinion, we can split it on two parts. The first part is a theory. You are reading that as any kind of book. You will see a lot of repetitions. As Joe Dispenza says, like the repetition are the keys. The key for like changing our life and changing our stories, our beliefs, our reality, as you please to call it. So something like that, Michael Brown is also saying and doing actually what Joe Dispenza says Michael Brown does in the first part of the book. So you will see that your logical mind, your ego, is refusing to, maybe he wants to skip some sentences, he wants to skip some pages because he sees like, oh yeah, that's something familiar, I already read that somewhere, or Michael Brown already said that, but that's with intention, okay? So there is a scientific proof why repetition is working. And anyway, like why we have so many beliefs that doesn't serve us and patterns that we follow like crazy unconsciously, is because someone says that so many times, or we saw with our eyes so many times that we believe in that. It's not because it's a universal truth, it's because someone repeated enough times so we can absorb it as a like universal truth for us. And actually everything is about that, about being conscious, about getting conscious, about all those things that we have subconsciously. We don't need to bring that on our mental mind or physical world. Like we don't need exactly to remember the moment when we had a trauma with our parents or grandparents or someone in our childhood, no? But we will also have those moments. in dreams, in reality, it doesn't matter. But it's most important to feel that emotionally, okay? So this is all about that. It's all about what it means to be present or to feel presence. It means to be highly aware of the moment where we are now, okay? The moment what we are experiencing right now, what we are living now, and to be grateful for that, without any other past baggages that we carry on, and without, you know, like just listening our true self. I'm calling that, he's calling that emotional body, and I'm calling that like alma, soul, or intuition, or your true self, or, you know. So Michael Brown is like making a difference between emotional body, mental body, and physical body. In order to change your life permanently, forever, you will try everything to not remember the past. You will try to forget it. You will put it under the blanket, under the rug, you will bury it. But somehow the past is always there, isn't it? Like I call that circles. I like to call that circles because they are like live repetition that we have in our life. You can notice that in your adult life as, for example, the girl who is complaining how she always attracts wrong guys, like she, or woman, like who has so many marriages and always with some aggressive, violent type of man, and or someone is changing so many jobs, even in another towns and cities, and it's always there someone who is like bullying you. So there are repetitions. And it doesn't matter if you change a country, it doesn't matter if you change your environment, if you change your city, it doesn't matter. If you speak another language, it really doesn't matter. I'm a live proof of that. Because you carry that with yourself. The place, it doesn't matter. People even. You know the phrase, don't kill the messenger? You must know. So that sentence gets totally another meaning for me now when I did this process. I did this book once last year for the first time. It's recommendable to do that 3 times. You can do more, even better. So as I said, like your brain will find a lot of ways to sabotage you in some kind of way, as you do sabotage yourself, like in a lot of examples in your life. And that's exactly what you need to confront. It's actually your subconscious mind bringing, like, doesn't want to go out. And you maybe heard like you maybe heard that in order to leave some fear behind us, we need to confront that fear. So this is actually that. In order to live in the presence, yeah, as I said, like living in the present, being aware, highly aware of our presence, and leaving the past behind, like being able to recognize who are the messengers. They are different people, but the situation, the emotion that we have, it's the same. And so that's why Michael Brown is saying like that we can physically change something. For example, maybe you are really unsatisfied with your look and you feel really empty. Maybe if you are really successful, or you have a lot of money but you really feel empty, and you will do anything. You will do it so hard. You will just know what you've been through. And you will wonder why I'm still unhappy, why I still feel, why I wake up. In that moment when you achieve that, you will feel wow. But, or for example, physically changing, you will do a plastic surgery, and you will see yourself in the mirror, and you will say, yeah, well, now I'm attractive, now I'm beautiful, yeah, I'm cute, I'm desirable. And then you will wake up next morning, and again you will feel like unsatisfied, you will feel empty, you will not have courage to do the first move, you will not have courage to write that beautiful guy who you like. I don't know, it will be still the same, because it is the same. You can change something physical, but inside is what it matters. Like emotionally, we need to change something in emotional way, emotional body. And mentally, we can speak about positive, our story in a different way. We can speak it like positive affirmation, positive stories, changing our stories, and I really do believe in that. But it's not enough, because then we will fall down again, and we will fall down so many times, and we will again go into depression and an anxious feeling. We will again have panic attacks and everything similar, you know, like before. And when we, with our subconscious mind, just a bit recognize something that is familiar for us, that we been through in our past. Michael Brown is telling us like that everything what happened in first 7 years of our childhood is remaining with us like a pattern belief, and it's in unconsciously we are carrying that with ourselves. So when we as an adult recognize that in some person, it doesn't matter, it's always the different person, they are just messengers. It doesn't matter who they are, it doesn't matter the country, it doesn't matter the job, it's not about that. They are just the physical consequences of the real problem, and the real problem is actually something that really influenced on us in our childhood, and everyone has that. I was so crazy into this because something about myself is that before I start some method or tool, something that it takes like a lot of time to commit, you know, like it's not something that you are doing just one day. And so I really like to do research. In order, of course, I research about the present process and like people who already did that, and you know, and I will tell you later. I will tell you maybe in another video like something more about all this. So I really did explore also psychology. Yeah, I have a lot of books of psychology because I have it in my high school, and I also have in university studying that. So it was now I was like studying again because I really want to know like scientific approach to all this, you know, like I understand how all those tools that we can find in this book are working with our brain, are forming our brain and our thoughts, and like, but I really wanted to see if that is true, you know, like how that works on the child environment, people who care about that child when it's like in his young age. Even before, you can find there like what Michael Brown is talking about is like first 7 years of the child, but you have like teenage time, you have after that like second part of the 7 years, 7 years development. You can and the third part, you can find everything of that in psychology books. Like it's nothing invented, it's nothing you know, it's nothing new. Just we don't have awareness of all that. We know that this life will end, but not everyone has awareness that it's short and that we should use it in the very, very best way we can. We know that we should all be a good people, that we should all be happy, and we should all like love ourselves, but we are not trying. We are not getting up and thinking like, wow, today I will be the best version of myself. I'm starting this week to try to feel and live and see how it is to be the best version of myself. No, we are not aware. So do you know why? Can you imagine how much we are not aware? And I will not get into that you know, how closer you are to that, you are getting more awareness, but why we need to wait that moment. That's why people are changing their lives when they get cancer or any kind of terminal disease. That's why I start with this kind of books, like when I was age 14. Even before that, I was really curious child. Like I really loved like philosophy and psychology. I was really curious how the people works and the world anyway. But after like having cancer, we received so many books like about holistic alternative approach for getting a life that you want, like alternative ways to cure yourself of any kind of disease, to live healthy, to think healthy, with how you can cure with positive thinking, how you can cure, how your thoughts are killing you or curing you, everything. There are so many years of my life. I even have all those books, not all those, but yeah, a lot. And not even one book remains, not consciously, remains with me forever. Forever is so scary, isn't it, to say, but you know, like permanent. And the way why this book is staying with me, it's also the words of Michael Brown, the author, is because it's a process. It's altogether it's like 2.5 months or 3 months, depending how you are doing it. The practice part is 10 weeks, to be specific. And also it's because it's focusing on our conscious, to be conscious and to confront a past, not hide the past, not talk anymore about the past, burn the past and not think about it. No, confront and accept. And in order to do that, we need to recognize that. We need to recognize the problem. We need to recognize the cause so we can cure our consequences, isn't it? Yeah, that's according to alternative medicine, like curing the cause and not curing the symptoms or consequences. But I do believe in that. You know, we need to, that's why the root and where we are come from, it's so important. The base of everything. It is. And so yeah, mental, physical and emotional mind. The physical and mental are nothing if we don't cure our emotional mind. And that's something that we wear since we were like children. Something that happened, something that we just saw. We saw some pattern of behavior in our parents, and we thought like that's the correct thing, and maybe it wasn't. And we carry that. It's not necessary to be like a hard trauma. Sometimes it is, but it's not necessary, you know, like it's just a life that you had. You live in poverty, you live really, you couldn't have a right education. You did had a lot of things. You were rich and but you didn't have love. You have some kind of love, but it was not a healthy love, or you were seeing all the time your parents struggling with money, struggling with each other, like driving them crazy, but you know, and you are getting into the same things. You are struggling with money all your life and you don't know why. You cannot get into your conscious mind why. But this book is helping you to, not in the mental way. There is like a part of the book that it's really important. One thing is like that the book is really easy to be done, because instructions are really easy, and he's repeating himself, so you can really, everyone can do the book. Okay, just you need to be ready to change your life. Okay, so nobody should be forced to do this book. You should be aware enough that something is wrong. You should be aware enough that where you are now, you're not happy. You should be aware enough that you have that kind of circles that I was talking about. And you should be aware enough that you can do something about that. You want to get out complaining all the time, or being victim all the time, or being poor over all the time, or blame, or guilty, or any kind of bad emotion that you feel, because that's normal. Like the main state of our soul is to feel good and to feel really connected with ourselves. So in order to do that, you need to read the theory, and then 10 weeks. Each week, 7 days, a normal week. Every week has an affirmation. This is on my language, but this is for first week. It says this moment is important. This moment right now is important. So I put it on my table so I can remember it. And it's something that you should repeat in your mind, like every day. That's the first week, okay? Every week you have something. And then you have Indian technique of conscious breathing that you are doing first time when you wake up and the last time before you go to bed. It's 15 minutes or 15 minutes, or you can do it more as you can. So he's really explaining clearly why this is important, and he's giving us the task is like to ask yourself a questions. For example, why I am always attracting the guys who are bad to me? Why I'm always having friends who are using me? Why I'm still not married? Why I'm always I don't know, why I don't have still enough money and I really wanted for so long and I tried everything, or everything that you want. It's about your life and you wonder. Ask yourself. Make this kind of diary, make some kind of diary as I did, no? Also, I did it on my native language, so it will be more easier to me. Make a notebook or just download the... Actually, yeah, I have on another language. It's not on English. But the diary, you can... In some video, maybe I can show how you can do a diary. But there are some guidance, a bit, you know, it's nothing difficult. But the thing that is difficult is emotion. Like confronting any kind of fear and confronting past, it's not an easy thing to do. You need to realize that this is not a book to feel good. It's not a feel good book like a feel good movies, but it's yeah, talking about the movies. You know that feeling when you watch some inspirational true story film, or you read a really good book after reading that, like you have like that sensation, like wow, I need to really do something with my life. I will do it. I will just do it. That's inspirational action, no? And then you need to go to school, or you need to go to work. Someone is calling you. You accept the call. And you said like, oh, after that I will do it. But the moment you cannot return, the moment is past. And it really is. I don't know if you're aware about that. But that's inspirational action. And someone says about that, like that inspirational action is when 1,000 crazy wild horses cannot stop you to do the thing that you want to do. I like that. I like that explanation. Because it's really like that. And this is what this book is bringing to you. Also, Michael Brown is telling us that it's something permanent, because it's a process. You need to get into that, into your subconscious past, childhood. You need to get into a relationship with your child, with inner child that you forgot, or little you, as you wish, and confront. And you will not, maybe you can feel like a lot of symptoms like nightmares. It's important that you are also writing that into your journal, diary, notebook. And everything is connected. And you can feel like you need to be isolated, like to be with yourself, because it's your personal story, personal life. But it's really wonderful that you doing that, because it's a proof that you love yourself. Because if you stop and do something so personal, so deep for yourself each day until the end, I don't know, it's proving to yourself like that you are worth it just because of doing that. It's my opinion, okay, and my experience, because I already did that once. So yeah, I will tell you a bit about my experience. Okay, I needed to cut this video to split it in two parts. So the second part of video will be about my experience, my first experience of doing this book last year. And yeah, it will be shorter than this one. And yeah, I'm sorry that you may see maybe not so good quality of video because I did it on my cell phone, and also I cut it so many times. But it's a first video, and in order to not postpone anymore making these kind of videos, and to really be in alignment with my process of this book, because I already did the first part of the book, the theory. I think it's like if I will do this, I should do it now, not procrastinating any longer. So I hope it can help you somehow. It can really introduce you in this book, and that you can better understand this kind of process. And as the author says, like, this is not an ordinary method to explain. It's really a process that you need to experience in order to understand. So I'm wishing you a very, very productive process of living and finding your path, and see you in next video.